So loud. Damn, girl, that was so loud. Hello, welcome to the podcast. I am Greg Stone. Welcome to Friday Night Greg. Today I'm on the road. I'm still at the Borgata. We have a great guest. Adam Ferrara is going to be with us shortly. I just decided to hit record before he got here, so maybe we'll kill a little time before he jumps in. But I do want to talk about him before he gets here. This guy is a great comedian. He's done a ton of shit. He's also a guy who I looked up to before I started, and it's kind of cool now to have comedians that you kind of like. You get to work with these guys, and then they become friends. And Adam's become a friend. He's a great guy. He's got a new special out. Let me pull that up for you. It's called It's Scary in Here. It's on YouTube. It's free. Check it out. Also, let's do a little housework. I want to thank all the subscribers who subscribe to the Patreon at the Greg Stone Zone. Patreon.com/the Greg Stone Zone. We had another live show. In my world, we did it last night. I don't know when this comes out, but it was a blast. I saw Steven Duran. If you're familiar with the fan base, that guy comments on it a lot of things. He's the best. He's a great guy. He came to the show at the Borgata, and I said, "Why don't you come upstairs? We'll record. You'll be here for the live episode." He wasn't going to make it home in time, so he came upstairs and he just sat in a chair. I didn't have two microphones, so that kind of happened. And we had the greats in there. Matt Moves Mountains. Ian was in the mix. So check that out. You can watch that now if you want. It's on the patreon.com /the Greg Stone Zone. Also, if you don't follow me on Instagram, please follow me on Instagram and YouTube. Like, the best thing you could do for me is tell your friends about the podcast. That's your job. Right now, our podcast, my fan base, the guys, everyone, the girls, everyone who listens to this podcast, I hear from you. I talk to you guys. I love you. We are a small rebellion against the garbage comedy that is out there. You are my soldiers. And as much as I appreciate everything you guys do, the real work is in sharing, telling your friends. That's the biggest compliment I could get. Also, like, you're handsome and I think you're funny. Really, any compliment is the biggest compliment because it all means so much to me. But I guess I have to get you guys to share stuff. So that's a nice thing you could do, is if sharing all that stuff and telling your friends really helps me get the word out, because it allows me to do. I mean, the reality is it allows me to spread what I want to spread a little bit further, And I this is gonna sound real lame. Is I believe in comedy is not. Everyone, I think most of the comedians out who are like huge right now, a lot of it's negative shit, Everyone's like, "Oh, you fucking Zelensky's a coward," or whatever. I don't know what people are saying. And no one said that. But anyway, like, I think it's a different flavor. I think we're doing different flavors over here. So share it out. I'm also just treading water until Adam gets here. I don't know why he's late. Can you send another link, pal? Sure. Oh shit, I fucked this up. Let's share it. Invite to. Oh, that's right. Well, we sent Adam a new link, so he'll be joining momentarily. I definitely started a Zoom meeting and then just change the link. I didn't tell him. Oh, piece of shit I am. Anyway, Adam's about to join us, and we'll see how this goes. I don't know how it went. Who knows how this goes? This could end in a blazing fight. We never talk again. But I think it's going to end good. It's time to party. It's Gregory. It is a Saturday night, Gregory. Take your socks off and take your pants on. Get in the car and drive on. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the podcast, Mr. Adam Ferrara.
What's up, baby?
Hey, buddy. How you doing?
Good. Can you hear me?
You sound great. You look great.
Thank you. So do you, my friend. Congratulations. How's it, baby?
He's good. Yeah. Oh, heads up. We're recording. I already started just because I was bored. So
I understand. I don't know what you were doing before I showed up. I can't confirm, deny, or support any actions that happened before I joined this conversation.
Yeah, it was a big shit on Adam Ferrara sesh. No, it wasn't. No, I spoke very highly of you because I think you're. Is it your? I don't want to kiss your ass to your face. Big fan.
Which is painful and unlikely. the way the human spine bends.
Why is that? How come we can't take compliments as humans or as comedians? You know,
because we wouldn't be comedians if we could. You need some kind of grist for the mill. I think. All right, I don't know about you, but this just struck me.
Mm-hmm.
What if it gives us a place to go? Let's just start by saying it's not healthy, Gregory.
Right. To accept a compliment or the opposite?
Accepting, not being able to take in a compliment, which is, I think, a variation of not being able to accept love, is not healthy.
You're right.
If we were plants, we'd all be dead.
Yeah, we would accept. We'd be kicking the water. We would just be resisting the water that is trying to make us fast.
Yeah, but I think as comics, writing about how we can't and why we can't, I think kind of helps.
No, I mean, I think it's definitely good to come from a negative, you have to remain as the people. And so once you get this God ego, it doesn't help. So I think we have to resist the God ego. But I've resisted it so much that I just have crippling low self-esteem. And that is also not.
I don't think I've resisted it. I don't think I was ever exposed or even in the vicinity of the God ego. I have to be honest with you. At no point did I think to myself, I'm a god.
You could have. You literally, I know comedians who get new faces on Montreal and they think they're the greatest thing that's ever walked. You've been on countless TV shows, countless specials, countless leather jackets. You are the king. You definitely, I mean, it could have been there. I think it's a testament to who you are as a person that you haven't drank the Ferrara juice.
Thank you. I thank you so much. It's very kind of you to say. I've been very fortunate to be able to do a lot of things in the field of comedy and acting and stuff, but there's no great cleansing that happens, and I think the for me, it was, well, don't get disappointed. This ain't it,
What do you mean? Wait, what do you mean? Expand on that.
There's no great cleansing when you get there. Like when you get a new Faces at Montreal, when you get your first special, when you get a series regular gig, when you get it's nice. I've worked this hard to achieve something. I'm very fortunate, grateful to have, for the most part, respect of my peers, which is very important to me to hear it from fellow soldiers. But it doesn't take any pain away. There's no, great cleansing, like I said, that happens. It's like, oh, now I'm happy. I'm happy. No, you're not. It's going to be the same thing. And what I found was wanting those things, and we all want them, Greg. We all want, the late night spots. We all want everything. And once you get them, you're so focused on getting them. And then when you get them, you're like, or you get to a point where you might have some modicum of success, now I got to stay here. So you're always chasing it to get it. And then you're worried about keeping it. And then it's gone. And you realize, well, that wasn't it.
Well, pause you real quick. Are you happy? Are you happy? Adam, are you happy? Are you happy?
I get it in spurts, Stone. You're not going to be. My father would always tell me, look, you ain't going to be happy every day.
Right.
You get a couple of them, string them together, and just don't turn adversity into unhappiness.
Right.
He goes,
what do you, go ahead. Sorry.
No, but that's what he said. He goes like the happy's here, sad is here. You want to be in the middle. You want to be in the middle, because in the middle, you're not going to get too high. You're not going to get too low. And you get too high, you worry about having to, like I said, hold on to that success or continue that feeling. You're afraid it's going to go away. At least that's the way my mind works. And then when you're sad, you're like, when is this going to go away? Like, I don't want this to go away. And then when you're saying, like, when's this going to go away? But if you're in the middle, you're like, and experiencing this and this and this, you can appreciate more. It's weird. I don't know if this example is going to make any sense to you. I just did the Rolling Stone podcast, the top 500 albums of all time.
Here we go again. How Mr. Famous at? No, I'm sorry.
It was Josh's podcast. Josh Adam Meyer's podcast. He asked me to do it, right?
Oh, okay.
So I just did the podcast, and it was the Clapton Slowhand album, and one of the songs we spoke about was Wonderful Tonight. Clapton's Wonderful Tonight.
Yeah.
And that's a song that grew blossomed as I grew up as an adult. It was a great. It's always, first of all, you're introduced to it at a wedding because that's the slow dance song,
Right.
or your prom. That's the slow dance song. And then as you get older, you listen to the lyrics, it's late in the evening and I'm waiting for it to come down. He's frustrated. She ain't ready again, but he's writing a love song about it. Yeah. And you can see, even though he's frustrated with this is what she does, she comes down and she's stunning and he's lucky to have her, and that's the way I feel about my wife. So am I happy now? I'm going to say yes. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm happy because I'm appreciating little things more. And I think that's what happy is the appreciation of, I'm in town now for 2 weeks. I'm in New York right now for 2 weeks, and I'm doing spots at the Cellar. My new toys work, my new jokes work. I had to come in to do the podcast and a bunch of stuff, and I'm just enjoying being here. And I'm just appreciating that I have access to. I have access to this. I can do this. I can create in this environment. And the nice thing about being in New York right now at this point in our history with climate change, you can experience the seasons in one day. It's great.
You're in New York. Why are we doing this on Zoom?
What?
Why are we doing this on Zoom? I thought you were in LA.
I just had another Zoom before this. I got one after this, and I got an 8:45 at the Cellar. I can't come to Queens.
No, I do it at the Cellar now.
Why did you tell me? We could have done it tonight. After my
Can we just pause this and then do it tomorrow or the day after?
No, tomorrow I'm on a plane tomorrow.
You piece of shit! I want to be in a room with you.
All right. Well,
I hate to say
tonight the Cellar after my spot.
I'm at the Borgata right now.
At the Village Underground. What?
No, I'm at the Borgata right now.
Oh,
so I'm technically
don't yell at me. You're not in New York. Look at you yelling at me.
But I would have planned around.
Because you're not here, you fuck.
I know I'm not here, but you didn't know I wasn't here. You didn't know that. Anyway, that's fine.
Last time we did it at your house, and we had Greek food for lunch.
You psychopath came to my house. I don't know why I did that.
And it was a whole afternoon. I had a great time. It was we really did. And then you came to my house to do my show.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it was fun. Yeah. It's better in the room. It really is. It's better. Even like when you're meeting directors and you got audition and stuff, don't you find it being better in the room with people around? You can feel that energy,
Everything is better in the room. I don't mind this. I don't mind this. Like tonight I have to do a read for a thing. I have to do it over Zoom, and I am not looking forward to it. I also but I have to do it. It's like some audition thing, but I don't know how I'm gonna. I know if I go in a room, I'm gonna jam on these. I'm gonna come in, people are gonna see my energy, even if I don't do well. They're like, I like this guy. But sending in a video of me being like, welcome to the store, Henry. Welcome to the store, Henry. Welcome to the store. It's not. Yeah, it's not exciting.
There's no give and take, and you got to do tonight. So you're in a hotel room, and if you're going to shoot it like this, it's going to look like a snuff film. So do something with the lighting.
Yeah, I don't know if there's much I can do with the lighting except turn them on or turn them off. I mean, does this help?
What? Not at all.
Oh, Adam, I have a fun thing I do want to do with you today, though. We'll get to it naturally when it comes up.
Okay.
This is it gets very upsetting to me because I Googled you and I was like, I want to actually, because of you, I started trying to prepare for podcasts more. I was envious of how you do your podcast. I came to sit with you and I literally went, I don't know how this is going to work. This guy doesn't know shit about me. Why would anyone know anything about me? And then you were like, your mom's name is Dale. Let's get into it. I'm like, how the hell you know my mom's name? It was like, you take this stuff in a serious way. And I was like, I'm going to start doing better at that. I can't show whatever. So I Googled you, and what came up were questions. There's these most asked questions about Adam Ferrara, which is funny because I Googled me, no questions. No one's asking any questions about Greg Stone. They're like, do you mean the French poodle guy in Europe or the swimmer? It's like, no, there's a comedian. Man, I want to ask you these questions. Let's get to the bottom of it. Also, I will give you can say pass. I got to give you the out. You can say pass.
Oh, that's good. That's
any
good.
Of these, and I will not be offended. Okay. But these are the Adam Ferrara questions. One. Ooh, wait. I don't want to see the answer. So let me shut this because I like to. All right.
There's answers too.
Yes, there are answers, and I want to see if you get them right. That's the quiz.
Go ahead.
We're going to see if you can nail the Adam Ferrara quiz. One. What does Adam Ferrara do now?
Okay. Apparently, he annoys Greg Stone for doing shit over Zoom. Is that the answer?
Let's look. That's your answer. My answer is stand-up comedian who also, well, you just did something too. Weren't you just in a TV show? You just did something that I was mad that I didn't know about.
I was on the show Why Women Kill, and I just did a thing for. I'm also a big car guy, so I did a Launchpad for history. It's pretty much a Shark Tank for automotive inventors. So I was at SEMA, the big automotive event in Vegas, and we shot that competition show. And I shot some other stuff for there, and I was so I got that coming, and I got my special on YouTube called "It's Scary in Here."
I already plugged it.
Yeah, and I'm doing stand up and my podcast.
Very excited about your podcast. Already plugged your special. Just watched it. I was trying to do some writing, and then I was Googling you, and then I was like, let's watch a little bit of this. I also saw it because turns out I forgot I've seen you live maybe 5 times this year. So
right.
I was like, oh yeah, I love this one. That's a good one.
Yeah.
yeah. And it came out great, man. It's a great special, and I'm
brother.
Proud of you. Is that a right word? I feel that seems condescending. I'm proud.
I'm not condescending. I know which in the spirit in which it was intended, and I take it. Italians always do that. I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. You did good job.
Proud of you. All right.
You look good, Adam. Yeah. All right. Well, so your answer is you annoy Greg Stone. My answer is stand-up comedian / Gavone. The internet says presently Adam hosts the critically acclaimed BBC sensation Top Gear 2008.
Okay, so that's an old. That show's been. That's old. We have to update the internet.
All right, we'll do that. And nominee for Best Male Comedy Stand-Up by American Comedy Awards and has 3 Comedy Central specials. You currently, what you're doing now is have 3 Comedy Central specials.
I currently have 3 now. Not just the one I'm plugging. There's 3 of them. I think this is my 4th special, but yeah, that's old. Top Gear was a fun ride.
Yeah, literally. What are you driving? Can I ask you this? This is a great question.
Sure.
You're doing Top Gear, right? You're all around cars. You're into cars. What are you driving?
I just sold I had a Buick Electra 225. I had an old 1970 Deuce and a quarter. Sold that. I currently now have a 1990 LS 400, which is the first year Lexus came out with the with the big luxury sedan. I murdered it out. Means everything's black. All the badges are off it. It's black on black with black wheels. I took out the amber lights in the front. I took it out. I had the guy take out the amber lights in the front. So it's just now it's just a clear light with the Euro chin on the bottom. And I dropped it a little bit. So it's menacing. I smoked out the windows. So I drive around with that. And I got an 08 E350. I just got a workhorse Mercedes. I don't have the room or the budget, to be honest with you. So, you got to keep switching them in and out. But I just sold the Buick, and now, after we finish the house, I want to get another one. I'm eyeing up a 67 Mustang, a fastback I like, and I will make the Bullet car out of it. The Bullet car was the car from the movie Bullet that Steve McQueen drove. He drove a 68 390 fastback. That's the car in that movie. It's Highland Green with American racing wheels. I want to make the 67 because I like the body better. A lot of information you didn't ask to know, but that's what I got.
No, that's what I love to hear. Because here's the thing: the later answer, the Bullet, is something I understood. But when you said 1990 Lexus, to me, that doesn't seem like a classic car. That just seems like hard times have fallen upon Adam.
Yeah, it's not classic. It's old and funky, and I like it because first of all, they're workhorses. Because Toyota made that car. That was their luxury brand. That was the first year it came out. So they built it like a tank because they knew they were going to get judged on it. And it's a great car. There was one. My friend Matt Farah had one. 1,000,000 miles. It was the 1,000,000-mile Lexus.
Wait,
the biggest
really?
thing you got to do on that car, if anyone's got one, is that around 98,000, you got to change the timing belt, which I did. That's the big thing. And then, you're going to get the regular stuff you got to do to any car, brakes, every once in a while, power steering pump might go, something, master cylinder, whatever. So, but yeah, it's a good car. But it's not like, Lamborghinis and Ferraris and stuff. My wife had one of those when I met her, and then, an oil change on it is $3,000. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. For me, dream car, I had 2. Well, one, and I think both these cars are shit. Do you know anything? Are you familiar? So I think it was like a 98. I don't know the year, but it was a Porsche 911, but it was the one that almost looked like a transformer. It was like an 80s or 90s
with
Porsche.
The whale tail on it?
Let me.
Probably had a Carrera with a target top and a whale tail.
No, it was the one that it's the one that you see on the street all the time that looks like shit. It's the Porsche that It has like all Porsches are more smooth.
The 914 that's on a Volkswagen.
Yes.
That's the 914. The 914 is on a Volkswagen. It's a little air cooled, it sounds like.
Yeah, I'm gonna look it up right now just to make sure that I can confirm that this is right. But it's
Okay.
I always love this car. Oh, this one. Well, this is very old. I would say this is not it. 90s. Oh, this is horrible this is horrible. What the fuck am I doing? I can't look. I need a producer. I'm having an anxiety attack because I'm looking.
Why?
Because I can't tell you what the car is. I thought it was a 911, but it had that like more of a boxier look for a Porsche.
Mm-hmm.
And could possibly be a 914, but it was like more 80s, 90s style. It looked like my other favorite car was a Volkswagen Corrado, which was this like weird.
Yeah.
You remember it?
I like the Scirocco. The Volkswagen Scirocco was my favorite. Yeah,
those were
Scirocco,
cool.
Yeah. And the GTI I like the GTI.
I had a GTI, I had a Golf, which was like, the slower version of the GTI.
Mm-hmm.
I had two Golfs, a GTI. I had Volkswagen Vanagon was my first car.
Yeah, we did an episode of Top Gear in Germany. I had the new Lamborghini Hurricane, and Tanner Faust, the race car driver on the show, it was a gag. I showed up with a Lamborghini Hurricane. He showed up with a Golf R, which is
yes, the Type R.
I had that thing, and we switched because he's a race car driver. I was like, "Can I drive it?" I go, "All right, but don't leave me because we're on the Autobahn. I don't speak German, and I don't know how to get back to the hotel." All right. Yeah. I don't know what Ashfart we have to get off at. Okay. So don't leave me. He goes, okay, I won't. He fucking left me, Stone. Left me. I got my foot to the floor in this Golf R, and I'm flying that because there's no speed limit. Flying down. The wind I can feel the car because it's getting light because I don't know how fast I'm going because it's kilometers. I'm going like 280 miles an hour, but it's kilometers. I can't do math at that speed. I'm just flying. So yeah, the Golf R was a fun car too.
What was I'm gonna get back to Adam Ferrara questions, but you did Top Gear. It's exciting. Like, what car were you in? You were like, would you have like a favorite? Like this was the best thing I've ever driven.
Oh, this stunning car! Are you kidding? When I got to drive, I drove. Well, first of all, they took out the '66 GT40, the actual race car. They took it out of the museum, and I got to drive. It's the one that won Le Mans, and I got to drive. I think in ’66. So I got to drive it. I only drove at 8 feet. But I drove.
Which one again?
The GT40, the one with the Gulf livery on it, the race car that was in Ford versus Ferrari.
I watched that last night. That's why I was trying to confirm. That was the car you drove, the one that
the '66. I don't know. It was a Mach. I don't know what Mach it was, but that was the car they brought out of it. It's cool right-hand drive. You got to turn on the oil pump, and the motor's right here. I started up, flames are coming out of the carburetor.
Wow.
Right, and the guys come over and go, "It does that." I'm like, "Not by my head."
I am a Hollywood celebrity.
Yeah, so I can only drive at 8 feet, right? Because so they and the clutch isn't set up. It's a museum piece. I mean, it runs. Right. So the clutch catches way high. So my knee is in my throat. All right. It's right-hand drive. I got to shift with my left hand.
Oh.
I put it in first gear. I get the clutch to catch. I drove it. I passed the camera. They go, cut. All right, get out. The guys from the museum come over again, get me out of the door, and it's slow. They get me up out of the door. They're pulling me out, and they go, "You did good. Most people stalled it." And that was it. But so that was one of my favorite cars. I drove. They gave me a brand new, and when I say new, I forget what year it was, but it was a Ferrari F12 Berlinetta. I did 188 miles an hour on a causeway. Wow. In Utah, and it's a 212 mile an hour car, and I only got it up to 188 because it's not just like driving, Greg. You got to look at the camera, you got to talk, and doing all this shit. And we both know we both have ADD. Yeah. So look, a bird dead, at 180 miles an hour. So I got up to 188, and my ass felt a speed wobble, which is just the moment before you go fuck, and at that speed, I lifted. So that car was one of my favorites. And then the older cars, like I got to drive an '87 Grand National, the Buick Grand National, which was when that car came out. I remember I was at the Tri-County Flea Market on Long Island, which is a parking lot where everybody hangs out and uses the code word to try and buy fireworks from the flea market. Right. So we're hanging out, and that car turned the corner. And I remember looking at it, and it was all black and menacing. And I remember looking at it and going, what did that guy do to that Monte Carlo?
Is that the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
So I got to drive that car. So that, had significance. And a bunch of cars spoke to me. I drove this. So in answer to your question, there's tons of them.
Yeah, I have a weird favorite car that it's the worst version of Camaros, but because I have like this
The IROC.
The IROC to me was, I hated it growing up because it was all the Guinea fucking shitty Italians in Bloomfield. We drive them, they come up and they beat you up and take your girlfriend. Yeah. But it was the only one that was automatic. It wasn't stick. It was like the slowest one. But now as I get older, I look back and I go, man, I fucking love the IROC. And I think those were like the pony cars, which was like the
IROC, the Mustang, and the Challenger.
And the
Challenger's big though. She's a big girl now. Here's the thing with the IROC. It still annoys me. It's the best thing about the IROC. Joey Maldari had one. All right. Yeah.
Who?
Of course he did. And that's the car we used to take down to Atlantic City when we would go gambling in Atlantic City. And the nice thing about the IROC is in the passenger seat where I had to sit, the headrest comes out. So you can turn it around and use it as a pillow and put the seat back because we lost all the money. I had no money for a room. So
yeah, there was no back seat in that thing either. So you had to sleep in the front. The back
was a 2+2. Like, yeah, you could. Right. Yeah.
Maybe for a dog.
Yeah, the IROC wasn't my that was the third generation Camaro. What wasn't my favorite generation? I liked the first generation was 60. It was a 67, 68. They were bigger. Yeah. 69 was a little bit smaller, 69 Camaros, and then 70 was the body change. And then they kept that rounded to like 70, I'll say 77, 78. I'm not quite sure when the third generation came in. Was it, or was it 80? I don't know. It was right in that area. It might have been 1980 when the third gen came in.
The 68 or 69 Camaro, I think, is my dream car. But I just have to clarify that the IROC Camaro I know is garbage. I know it.
Okay.
It's
just my personal taste. It's my personal taste.
But I think just, it's like a song that you hated your whole life. It's like Limp Bizkit, Limp Bizkit sucks. 20 years later, I hear Limp Bizkit. I have this nostalgia for Limp Bizkit. I'm like, man, I kind of like them. They're garbage. But I'm like, nah, man, it's grown on me because it's just been in there for so long. I just had so many fucking babysitters that had that car. So many just slutty women driving around when those. It's like that. There's a love to that car I have now, even though it's a shit car. Like I just know it's, as far as Camaros go, it's a shit Camaro. Notoriously,
I didn't like the body style. How's that?
That's fair. It's all fair.
Yeah.
Next question. Unless
There's another question. All right, fine.
Oh, dude, I do all of them. There's only 6.
All right.
I just love these because they're so fucking. They're like crazy. One is well, this is too stupid. How did Aaron Ferrara break his arm?
Oh, on Top Gear, we had an episode of Top Gear. Well, I'm guessing that's the question they're asking because I broke my arm when I was a kid. Here's how I broke my arm when I was a kid, Greg, and I broke it 3 years in a row. It was my wrist on the summer. 3 years every summer. I had a run from 2nd to 3rd grade where I broke my wrist. And my brother broke his collarbone and my other brother broke his wrist. So this day and age, child services would have been sent to the house.
I was about to say, this is an issue.
First time I broke it, I fell off. My cousin Scotty lived in Levittown, Long Island, and he lived right back out of the schoolyard, which was magical. Because if you walked out into there was a 6-foot chain link fence, but if you walked out into his backyard, you were like, there's a playground in your backyard because we could see the swings. You could see everything. It was a play. So I climbed the fence. My jacket got caught. I fell over. There goes the wrist. Okay.
Yeah.
That next year we had a boat in my backyard. My father had a boat. It was this little 14-foot, boat, and it was on a trailer. And we took the post and rail fence down. He used to back it up into the backyard, and that's where we stored it in the winter. Well, spring's coming around, and there was this tree that had flowers on it. I think it was a dogwood, right? And it was Mother's Day, and the boat was in the backyard. So I climbed up on the boat to pick a flower for my mother for Mother's Day. Look, I'm gonna do this for my mom. Boom. There you go. Hi, Ma. Happy Mother's Day. Take me to the emergency room.
Yeah.
All right. And the third, I was on skateboard. Another summer, skateboard. I was we used to call it the catamaran. You ever skateboard when you were a kid?
Yeah, I still skateboard.
Okay. So you're sitting on one skateboard, your buddy sits on the other skateboard, you put your feet on his, he puts his feet around yours, and you go down the hill, because I lived in a hill, and you would steer
like a luge.
Back and forth like a luge, but you're facing each other. It's odd. It's like a killer seesaw with the concrete that far with urethane wheels on a plastic board. Horrible. So that's it. So yeah, that's how I broke my arm.
I had a similar story. We had a Power Wheels Corvette, Barbie Corvette that someone threw out on the block once. It was like, we ripped the motor out, ripped all the things out, and then we just decided that we were going to sit in it and then push each other as hard as we can down the hill and off a ramp. Yeah. But where the ramp was set up was directly in front of my stepdad's car. So we also then put trash, and we had 2 pillow like cushions, so that when you'd come off the ramp, the other guys would grab you and try to like, so you didn't hit the car. They just jam into you with the pillows. Right. Dude, I'm telling you, we were going off a ramp in this Barbie Corvette, flipping through the air. Everyone just landing on their neck, and then kids just running over pillows and hitting you with the pillows. The pillows became just a thing you're just killing each other with. Oh my! It's like the dangerous shit we used to do as kids, and like I don't know how I'm alive. It's wild.
First of all, my first question is, why didn't you just move the ramp?
No, because every time I remember exactly why. Because cars were going on the street, so. Okay. And so we couldn't move the ramp every time a car would come. So we would just come off the ramp. Literally, cars would be passing us. We're just almost Fast and Furious jumping over cars and shit. It was so dangerous. Someone should have their eyes on us. But we
did a bunch of dangerous stuff when I was a kid. Like I said, we would buy, you'd hang around the Tri-County Flea Market, try and buy fireworks. Because there was always some older guy like, I sell cookware. And is that all you got? And they take you out, you open up the trunk. They had the fireworks, right?
That's the move, yeah.
So we would get bottle rockets, and remember the yellow wiffle ball bats?
Yeah, of course.
So they had a hole in the bottom of the wiffle, so you'd put the bottle rocket in there, and you could aim it, kinda, because it's going to go where it was. But you could point it at someone. You could point it at somebody, and that's what we did. We did that. We had
my brother used to shoot them at me in the exact style. He would hold it like a shotgun and blast bottle rockets at my body. That's how I learned that bottle rockets don't really hurt, because he would hit me with them. It would scare, like they wouldn't kill us, but I think you'd explode. But my brother used to hit us in the hit me in the jacket with them all of the time. This was
you would hit him and then they go pop. But if they timed it right, you're in trouble. But you can't control those things. Yeah, we had that. We did that. That was dangerous. We did the Hot Wheels tracks.
Of course, the best.
So the orange Hot Wheels track with the purple connectors. Well, if you take a purple connector and you go down to your dad's workshop and you put it on the grinding wheel, you can make a spear. So we made spears, and we would throw spears at each other. These dangerous shit, Then we would, spirograph. Remember spirograph? It was a gear. They look like little gears, and you could put a pen, and there was holes in them. You put a pen, and you follow the gears, and it would make it looks like string art now or computer art, but back then it was pen and paper, and it was a whole box of these little gears. It was called spirograph. We would take the gears, and we would again go to the grinding wheel. You got to use a very fine wheel if you're going to do this, Greg. I just want your audience to use a fine wheel or fine sandpaper, and you would sharpen the edges and make throwing stars, and you would throw them at your brother. So you had sharp throwing stars to throw.
We made weapons. I remember we had a tennis ball. We put nails in. We had a skateboard that we put nails through the skateboard. So we could, if you were going to jump, you'd like hit him with we had these like zombie apocalypse weapons just waiting for things to happen, but like nothing ever happened. But we always had this plan. Baseball bat with an old, like kind of like the grinding wheel for your dad's. Yeah. A big blade. We'd put that. We would just be making weapons as 12-year-old kids.
Yeah.
We made somebody.
No, we did. We took, again, dad's shop. He had a vice. What can we do with this? Right. You take a tennis ball. You put an old tennis ball. After you're done playing with it, there's not a lot of bounce left in it. You put it in the vice. Then you take a drill. You drill a hole in the tennis ball. All right. Then you fill it with gasoline. Then
gasoline.
Yeah. Gasoline. Kerosene works too. We had a kerosene heater. And then you put a fuse in it. So you get like some kind of fuse, and then you make yourself a bomb and you throw it. It's like a little grenade.
This podcast just got flagged.
We didn't know how fast the fuse burns. Boom. This is stupid. So yeah.
Yeah. This podcast just became how to make bombs, and we may have just been flagged.
This is getting flagged. This is getting flagged.
Oh man, that's great. So yeah, there we are. It's funny. I guess I go to the next question. You ever do that when you're podcasting?
Pass this on to your child. All right, get your child. Get whatever you buy and make sure it's Nerf.
Right. Well, that's the weird thing. Oh, I kind of want to come back to the big thing about being happy in the beginning. That's this weird thing is that like I got in comedy. I remember there was a very specific moment in my life where I went, if this is it, I'm good. Right. And I just think a lot of comedians don't do that. And then once
tell me what that moment was.
It was I had auditioned for Montreal 8 years in a row. Got a call back every year, and I didn't get it again. And then I went, and it was like there was some other thing I was up for, didn't get it, and I went, why the fuck can't I catch a break in this business? And I was like, I suck, blah 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 blah. And I said two things to myself. I remember I went, maybe I'm a hack. And I went, well, Greg, if you're a hack, you're a hack. There's nothing you could do about it. You're just keep doing the work you're doing, and you'll just be a happy hack. That's fine. But you're not going to quit comedy. So whatever. Like, so you'll just be a hack. And then I went, if nothing else comes, would you be happy? Like, is this a waste of your life? And I went, I'm enjoying myself, and I enjoy the art. I enjoy crafting jokes. I enjoy going on stage. And I went, if nothing more comes, that's okay. So stop relying on things that people have to give you. And that's good. But the only negative is you don't want to, like, I'm always afraid of plateauing. You always have to be a little down on yourself just to give yourself the push.
I don't think, well, maybe that's how
to want more, I guess.
To want more. Yeah. You don't get complacent. I don't think the fuel or the drive has to be negativity, because now in my head, I'm playing catch up. If that's, every morning I wake up being late for the school bus every day. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wake up like I should have posted something, but
yes.
I wake up and I'm already behind. So, and that's, so that I don't want to live in that energy. I don't want to, but I still want to. And I think I'm where you are. I'm enjoying what I'm doing. It's a lot of fucking work.
Right.
A lot of fucking work. The podcast I put together, first of all, thank you for noticing it. I do put a lot of effort into it because I'm a perfectionist, because that's what brings me the pleasure of when I listen to it, I go, that was a good show.
Right.
That was a good show. That I would change. That was a good show. But I'm trying now to enjoy making the show and enjoying the process. It's still stressful because I'm worried about getting it done on time, and I'm worried about the outcome rather than just being steeped in the doing and having the happy in the doing and the happy in the outcome. So I applaud you for realizing that you need a little bit of drive. I don't think it's got to be negative. For me, negative doesn't work, but you got to enjoy what you're doing, because this could just be it, Greg. We could be peaking right now, me and you. This is
not to sound negative, but like we could get nuked tomorrow.
Well, yeah, but that's what everybody said. And by the way, that theory doesn't work either. I had a friend of mine too. Well, why don't you live every day like it's your last? That doesn't help. I would have a list, a bottle of vodka, and things I gotta. I would be drunk and settling old scores before I go. That's what I would do. Settling old
scores, yeah. Right? Yeah, I mean, I don't live to me, it's not about living every day like your last, but it's living every day in the moment. It's like, try to accept that at this moment right now. So this is a weird thing I have a theory about, but it's like sadness for the day. One sad thing can happen a day, and then you just live on that sadness for the day. But the reality is all you have to be is happy for the next 3 seconds. Just worry about the next 3 seconds.
Right here now. Yeah.
Right here. And just, even if you're like, your dad just got shot in the head, you're looking at your dad dead on the floor, and it's like, this is bad, but like, I'm going to take 3 seconds to be happy, and like, you just take those 3 seconds and try to just remain in the moment. Things will be better, because time, as you get older, you realize time is going to go by so fast.
Those 3 seconds could be the 3 seconds that would have saved your dad's life. So now dad's dead. So maybe
I'd say just stop pumping his heart, or stop doing the CPR to be happy.
Dad,
be happy in the CPR.
Can I have 3 seconds? I know you shot. Can I just have 3 seconds, please?
Yeah, but being in the moment it's being, it's that mindfulness shit of like just trying to like.
Well, yeah, and it's getting. I mean, it's easy on paper. It's getting there. It's like meditation. Meditation is easy. Transcendence is hard. But it's the what I found is I had to come at it the other way, because I didn't know what being in the moment meant, but I did know why I wasn't. And why I wasn't was I noticed the pattern of the when then bet. And it happened to me as a young comic. And it goes back to what we're talking about. When I get the Letterman spot, then I'll be happy. When I get, so the when then bet is a fucking carrot and a stick. There is no when then, it's now.
Right.
So
how many relationships, I remember this. I know women who say this a lot. I have friends who are girls who say this. And I did the same thing. It was like, oh, I'll be happy when I meet the right person. And the biggest thing about every relationship is you're not going to meet the right person. Fill your cup first. You can't have someone else A relationship shouldn't be them filling you with happiness. You need to come with happiness.
Yeah.
And then together you're both happy, and that's it. You know, that person, another thing, that's none of that's going to work. Happiness is not external, it's internal, and making it come out.
I'll be happy when I meet that person. Good.
Right.
They'll be miserable in the relationship.
Yeah. You're putting a lot on them.
Yeah. There's a lot of pressure that they're not aware of.
Yeah. Oh, I have to make you happy. You've been unhappy for 30 years.
Yeah.
It's not going to work.
And you know, we're both married dudes, and I know we just want our wives to be happy. But you know, I tell my wife, I just want you to be happy. And she's like, I know, but what you're doing is not it. I said, okay, we got to have a meeting.
Is there another room for the meeting? You have to go together. We got to go in the meeting room.
We got to go to a meeting. We go for a walk. We walk around the block. And my wife and I go, this is my big date. This is what a romantic I am. I said, you want to go out for a stakeout lunch? Okay. So we put the dogs in the back of the car. I go to the supermarket. I buy food for us, and we park, because I live by the beach. We park right down by the beach, and we eat in the car like we're on a stakeout, and we feed the dogs, and that's us. That's our stakeout lunch.
That's amazing. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's what's, not to sound arrogant, but that's what I love being a comedian, is that I don't know, for the most part, I could bring a good time wherever we go. You know, and it's like, I don't need to go. It's like, we don't need to do a thing. I just want to sit. For me, a party isn't loud music and dancing. It's like, give me a bonfire and let's all just tell stories. Like, that's the best.
Good people, nice vibe, good feeling. Yeah.
That's huge for me.
For me, a good time is a zero balance on my credit card. Love that. That's a party. That's a party.
Me and my wife go to Target. We literally walk into Target. I run away because I'm a child who needs to go to the action figure section. I run to the action figure section. I look around, then I meet back up with her and I go, hey, what'd you find? And then we talk, and then we'll do the walk, and that's like, we just walk around Target, and it's dumb and it's not even nice, but it's like, this is what we enjoy doing, and it's nice to get away in a weird.
Yeah, because I make plans. Honey, I'm going to take you out for a nice dinner. There's some beautiful restaurants. A nice dinner and a movie, and then that turns into, why don't we make dinner and we put something on Netflix and just curl up? And that turns into, I've already eaten. Are you hungry? No. All right, let's just sit down and watch a movie. Then we put a movie on, and like, oh, this is going to be. That's it. And I fall asleep.
This is my life. That is exactly my life. It is.
Yeah.
It is.
And here's the other thing about date night, movie night. And I have to clarify for my wife. She goes, do you want to watch a movie? I said, okay, are we watching a movie, or are we going to discuss a movie that's on? Because
yeah,
we're always talking. And I'm like, you know, I don't know, honey. I don't know who that guy is. I didn't write this. I don't.
She always does that. My wife it's always the like, who's this? I go, I have been watching this movie the same amount of time as you have.
We came into this together.
I have no more info.
It's not a sequel, and I didn't see the first one first. I don't know.
Yeah. I kind of want to be like, look, you watch the movie on your time. I'll watch the movie on my time. And date night is we meet up and talk about the movie. Okay. Because the act of watching the movie, especially with my wife, is impossible, because I'll put the movie on and she immediately goes on her phone and then is like, oh, that's it. Like she's not even a big phone person. She doesn't even have ADHD, but she's worse than me. I'm like, for her movie, she's into it. For my movie, I'm like, pay fucking attention. There's going to be a quiz. Okay. You're going to need to know who Anakin is.
It's not even that. Like, I'll tell you the last movie, because we watched Doctor Strange, right?
Mm-hmm.
So watching Doctor Strange, and in the middle of the movie, I look over, my wife's phone is on, and she does this. She said, Benjamin Cumberbatch was Sherlock Holmes. Did you know that? I go, I don't want to do the interview. He's Doctor Strange right now. I want him to be Doctor Strange. I want the cape to choose him. Can I see that moment, please?
She's doing pop-up video as you. Yeah. She's doing the
My wife is pop-up video. That's it. More information's coming in.
I know it's a thing. Is this? Oh, it actually said, this is some dumb question. I don't know if you're open about your wife at all, but it says, who is Adam Ferrara's wife?
Mrs. Ferrara. Next question. You met her. She's beautiful.
I did, but I wasn't sure if it's literally, that's one of the big questions here, is who is your wife? Yeah. But my wife, I'm not allowed to mention. She does not exist to the internet. She's not allowed.
There's a boundary, because my wife is on the podcast with me, and I could understand, because I met your wife after you did my show. We walked out to the car. Yes. I said, hi, how are you? And I know when we walked away, she's like, what is wrong with him?
She loved you.
Yeah.
Are you crazy? My wife, look who she's married to. You are a 6-year older version of me. We are loud, obnoxious Italian people who don't shut the fuck up. My wife And my dad is 1,000 times worse than me. My wife walks up to my dad. My dad walks and he goes, "Hey, fucking Tita, sit down." And my dad just doesn't stop talking for 4 hours. She laughs hysterically, and then she goes home. And that's you. My wife is very quiet, and she loves when people are just on. So she goes, "I'm sorry, just one more about this." When I met my wife, we met at a we went on a date to a restaurant to get coffee. I said, "You want to go get some coffee?" We go to the diner for coffee. She got tea. I got a French dip sandwich. And she was like, and she said, she goes, I don't know how you knew anything about me that day. You talked for 2 hours straight with a French dip sandwich in your mouth. And she said, I love this guy. I don't have to do anything. He'll just do all the talking, and that's good. I don't want to talk. And that's how the relationship worked. That's great.
Then I got a job at a record store. You want more honey? Can a lady get some more honey for her tea? And I'll take some more au jus.
She was like, I knew exactly who you were exactly who you were today, that date. And she was like, this is nice. Like, I think you farted. Like, I don't even like, she said you just got 100% Greg on the first day. And I remember why too. It's because at the time, and she knows this, I was also dating this other girl who I was kind of in love with. Right. So like Tita was my, like, I used to do a thing where it's like, if you could date two people, you don't put all your energy into one and then they don't get freaked out. So Tita was the backup plan. Then I realized that the girl I was dating was like this. I was like head over heels, but it was all bullshit. And then my wife, I got robbed at gunpoint. My wife goes, well, I'll just pay your rent. And I was like, this is crazy. And a woman who would do this for me is insane. And I went, fuck love. I don't care what love is. I want the person who treats me the right way. I'll do that. And I said, and it turns out that's what love is. Someone who treats you the right way and all that shit. But yeah, that was how my wife and I got.
Okay. We're going to back up for two things for me.
Sure.
So I have an internet question here on Greg Stone. Like, you got robbed? How did he get robbed at gunpoint? It's not me. Google wants to know. What do you mean?
I was robbed at gunpoint twice. One time in Paris, guy came up to us, put a gun in our face, gave him some money, left. No big deal. That's a whole bit about that.
No big deal.
Bonjour.
Okay.
Yeah, I swear to God. 5'3", beautiful man, thin mustache, leather jacket, goes, bonjour, do you have a cigarette? And we're like, I don't smoke. And he goes, pulls out a gun, puts it in our face. Me and my friend Chris go, okay, we give him the money. And then he escaped, no joke, on a Vespa scooter. He left on a scooter going 6 miles an hour, same direction we were headed in. And he just was like, we just kept like, there he goes. There he is, still in the visual.
There's my wallet.
See you later, wallet. But then with my wife, I had we used to have to pay my rent in cash. So I went to pull the money out.
What uncle's house were you living at?
The guy's name, no joke, his name was Doo-Doo. He was an Indian man named Doo-Doo. We used to call him Doo-Doo. Hey, Doo-Doo. Doo-Doo would come. And he wanted the rent in cash. And it was like $600 or $700. And I remember I pulled it out of the ATM. Person comes up behind me and like puts a gun in my back and goes, give me the fucking money. So I was like, okay. I held the money. He grabbed it. I turn around. He was like a 13-year-old kid. I fucking chased him down. I couldn't catch him. I have asthma. I'm fat. Whatever. Right. He got away. There was definitely no gun. It was just some little kid. It probably was like 15 or something. Who knows? He wasn't 12 or 13. But I went home. I was like, and this is a time in my career when I was like, I told her, I was like, there's nothing I can do. I was like, that guy took all of the money I have. I only have that much money to do rent. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. And my wife was like, well, I have the money. Well, she's my girlfriend at the time. She goes, well, I'll just give it to you. And I was like, but you don't understand. I'm not going to be able to pay you back, maybe ever. Like you don't. There's no situation that's coming in my life where I'll have a double $600. Yeah. So she was like, if you don't ever have it, you don't ever have it. She's like, but you don't have it. So what are you going to do? And I made that choice. I went, who do I want to be with? The girl who's fucking other dudes and she's wild and it's fun, or the woman when the shit came down to it had my back no matter what. And I went, I said, fuck love. Cause I thought love was the other girl. I went, I want this. I'll take this.
Let's back up to fuck love, shall we?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
I think your idea of love was that infatuation with that other girl. Am I understanding that correctly?
Love was, I thought love was that like feeling that like, oh, her,
yeah, but it's, I think for me, for me, it's, and I'm just trying to find my own, because I've been with the same, we've been married. Geez, we've been together forever. And I don't want to go anywhere else because it just keeps, it's like that song I mentioned, that Clapton song. It keeps evolving. I get that feeling with different circumstances in the relationship I'm in. That first, like, sit down, we're gonna fuck forever. That goes away.
Right, of course.
Right.
Yeah.
That goes away. But the feel, the connection I have with my wife just keeps getting bigger. And again, because of adversity we face together and the yelling and the screaming of how I think things should be, which they never are because I'm married. Married, love is never having to say you're sorry. Marriage is having it tattooed on your forehead. I think that's pretty much
right. She gets it.
That's your default setting. But to make myself notice what I'm doing that's not serving us and ultimately becoming a better person by not making that choice again and seeing what she does for me and what I can do for her. I think that love keeps evolving for me. It keeps getting bigger. It's a difference between power and force. The force is something you got to act upon. Like, I want that girl. I want. You're chasing. Power just is. And the power that you can have, it's like gravity. Gravity's not doing anything, but it's not throwing shit around, but shit's going to fall, Yeah. So it's like the power that I feel in wanting to care for my wife and allowing that energy to come in. You said taking a compliment and seeing how she cares for me. That's powerful for me, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
I 1,000% agree and want to add like an analogy to kind of. So what I used to think love was talent, right? Talent. Okay. Like, you're born with talent. I can hit 5 jump shots. Good. And I went, but what love really is to me, as a growing, is it's built and it's skill, it's practice, and something that is way harder to get. Like, it's way harder to work for. Like, love. Sure. What I used to think was like this thing you fall into, your natural ability, this natural thing. And now it's like, no, love is my wife has this baby, and this is going to sound fucked up, but like, my wife had the baby and she is, I guess, like the most out of shape. She has a post baby body. Right. Okay. Which if 20-year-old Greg might've been like, ugh, but I look at her and I've never seen someone more beautiful in my life. Like, and I it sounds insulting, but I look at her and she's glowing and she's, she just had a baby, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, I've never been more in love with you. And this is it's a vegetable love. It feels clean. That other shit is McDonald's. It's that, right. It's like, you gotta eat it. It's, you look at a TikTok video, like, I want to that bullshit. Yeah. The earned built love is the better. It's a building you built. It's literally, you've built something together. I know every brick in that house, and that to me is, I cannot live without her. I have the same feelings I thought I had in the beginning with those other people, but they came now slower and better and stronger, if that makes sense.
I think it's the connection. And for me, it's like, it gets rid of the idea of the singularity of me and the connection of us. And then through that and through what we do for a living, if we do it right, I feel the connection with the audience, and we can go anywhere. That's when you're outside of yourself. When I'm riffing on stage and it's just coming through me, it's going to them. And there's a loop. There's right. a loop that we're all connected with. So I think it's not seeing yourself in the other person. It's realizing that we're all one, and we all are the other person, if that makes any sense, on a quantum level or
metaphysical
level. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think about that a lot, of actually, that we all are one. Like, if you look at, I've said this before, but if you look at your skin through a telescope, it's all cells, right? So, but if you looked at Earth through a telescope, you would see humans, and all we are things that live together. We die, we come back, and we regurgitate. We all are part of we are legitimately all one. We are like, there isn't like, that's not a philosophical thing. We all are. It just depends on your perspective on how close or how far away you want to look at what we are. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. I had a quantum physicist on my podcast.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, because I know how to party.
I know, that's the most fun.
Yeah.
That's
Dr.
amazing.
Larry Fall was on my podcast, and we're talking about the connection between people and the connection between things. And on a quantum level, it's like everything just vibrates. So if you vibrate it, because I meditate for years, but I was meditating when I first started to get shit.
Mhm.
You know, again, the
Yeah,
when
sure.
then bet to get stuff, you know,
Yeah.
because you're on the road late at night, you're at some shitty gig, and then Wayne Dyer comes on because PBS needs money, and he says, if you breathe right, you'll get a series. And there you are, like, wacky neighbor, trying to manifest shit. So I had this guy on who was explaining how if you vibrate at a certain level, it vibrates other things, the connection of the field, the connection of the field, that where you can actually manifest stuff and make things happen. I haven't done it yet.
So vibrating can make things happen. I'm so confused. I can vibrate.
Yeah, it's just like if
PS5?
things, it's string theory. Like everything, the subatomic level is a particle. This is going to get us a lot of laughs. The subatomic is a particle, but only when you look at it. It's a wave form until you put your consciousness on it, and then it becomes something. So the theory is that everything is vibrating, and then when you put your consciousness on it, it becomes the thing that you're intending it to be.
It's a song I wrote called "I'm Too Stupid to Know What You're Talking About." Too stupid to know.
Well, look,
pretend
I don't
I
think
know.
it's too stupid. I don't think I explained it correctly.
No. I actually am following, but it just kind of funny. Like, oh boy, that's great. I just wanted to make a dumb joke.
I'm just here to plug my special on YouTube, man. You want? You're the one that took me down this road with the questions, you fuck.
No, I love it. No, this is all I want. Listen, I do a podcast that I love. Sometimes we do goofy, and we love to do goofy, but what I really truly love is the deep, get in there.
Okay, what do you love about talking about stuff on this level? Because I'll tell you what I love about it, but you tell me what you love about it first.
Well, two things is one, but we're just kind of talking about this a little bit, but one thing I love to talk about is it's essentially, I call it, it's up and down, I call it, which is time, which is if you look at time, expand time enough, if you look at a mountain, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you watch it through the course of a million years, a mountain looks like it's moving, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because it's moving so fast, because you're watching it grow. But if you look at a mountain through our lifespan, a mountain does not move, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about perspective at when you're seeing things in time to see actually how they're moving. But then it also goes, that's left and right. But up and down is distance, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, if you're looking at me, the way we're looking at each other, you see a human. But if you look super far in, you see a bunch of cells. If you look super far out, you see the universe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's all about the perspective of time versus space to see where existence even is. You know what I mean? Like our universe could be over in a millionth of a second, and that could be a part of, it's like, just that's the stuff that gets me rock fucking hard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That kind of
the space-time continuum really just gets it that puts lead in your pencil.
Yeah, I get rock hard.
Do you masturbate and like comb your hair like Einstein up? And...
Dude, nothing gets me harder than the mitochondria, the powerhouse of the cell. I always wanted to have Neil Tyson deGrasse on and just be like, so Neil, let's talk about the powerhouse of the cell. That's clearly the only thing I know about science. Tell me about the mitochondria. Anyway, but what gets you going?
Talking about this stuff is if I can distill a thought that makes me feel better into an understanding, because you don't really understand everything. Like I'll tell you exactly, in reading all this stuff and trying to just to heal, to feel better, when I find a quote that articulates a feeling I have and I can communicate it to other people. So during a conversation, so this conversation is the potentiality and the possibility to have that. I'll tell you one crystallizing statement that really helped me a great deal. And it came out in a conversation in an interview. And is worry is not responsibility. That one opened a whole door for me.
Expand on that though.
Well, my worry is not responsibility. It's like if I'm not worried about something, I'm not being responsible. If I'm not worried about paying the bills, I'm not being responsible about taking care of my family. And I made that connection in my head by seeing my dad. My dad was my hero. He was always worried. He was always, every goddamn light's on, everyone. Yeah. Well, at least you didn't miss any of them, so because he was worried about paying the bills. So I would always worry like him because I thought that's what the man of the house did. Right. And it's not. It was it was taking away from my life because I was worried all the time and looking for things to worry about because that's what the machine was programmed to do.
Right.
So that kind of released it for me.
I love that because I similarly had that. I just thought you had to, like, if you're not worried, you're not thinking.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I get in this fight with my wife all the time because she's constantly like, I will say I'm the worst case scenario because I'm in a position now where I swear to God, I have no idea how much money I made last year.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Here, honey, here's the money. I have no idea, but I've gotten way too far to the left on that. You know, it's like, I could be doing well. I could be dead tomorrow. I really have no idea, but this is the best way to kind of live. I mean, I'm responsible. I pay the bills on the time and all that shit. But I just kind of look at it. I go, I swipe the debit card. If it goes, we're good. If it doesn't, well, I got to do more work next week. Like, it's just kind of like that. But I love it. I mean, I don't want to live that life of constantly stressed out. Like my family.
Here's the thing, Greg. I didn't know I had a choice. I didn't know I had a choice not to live that life until I got older, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And the choice came because the old pattern it wasn't helpful. It was like I was yelling all the time. It was my quality of life with my wife wasn't good. So a change had to happen. It's like it's like a butterfly. You know, you get a caterpillar. It doesn't. Oh, today I'm a butterfly. No, it dies. It goes into a cocoon. It's got to go through all kinds of pain and suffering until one day the time, like you said, goes out, and now it's time for it to become a butterfly. So I didn't want to have to go through that decay. You know,
I'm not high, but man, when you really think about it, butterflies are fucking crazy. That is wild. That they're an animal and then they're another animal.
That used to be something else.
You know what I mean? Imagine tomorrow I was a leopard. He's like, I went through my thing. I'm a leopard now. Whatever.
Yeah. You know, years ago I had 16 legs. Now I got these 2 big wings.
Yeah. One other thing I'm going to do, and I also don't want to take up too much of your time. I know we're coming in on the hour mark, but Seton Smith actually said this to me, and something that I love is he said to me, he goes, he didn't say it to me, he said to someone else, someone gave it to me, but I always get off stage, one joke doesn't go, and I want to kill myself, right?
Yeah, that's the one you focus on.
And Seton said, don't ask what went wrong, ask what went right.
Yeah.
And then you go, right, 80% of that set was good. I didn't close strong, so I'm going to hate myself for not closing strong. 80%. But you look at life that way. Don't ask yourself what went wrong. Ask yourself what went right. You know, we're still here. We're still here.
What do you got? What can you make out of it? And let the good in. It's like what you said to be. You can't take a compliment. No, because we focus on the shit that goes wrong because we don't feel like we're worried of it. Was it Nelson Mandela said our greatest fear is not that we are powerless. Our greatest fear is that we are powerful beyond belief.
Whoa. Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's great. Adam, I think that's a great note to close on.
Good to see you, baby. Thank you for letting me plug my special.
Let's plug that special again. Let me get the YouTube. Oh, I'll put it all in the links. I'm not going to put I'll put it all in the links. Also, your podcast. Where can they get your podcast?
You can get it wherever you get your podcast, called The Adam Ferrara Podcast. 30 minutes you'll never get back. Greg Stone graciously has been a guest on it. Who have I recently had that I remember? Stevie Van Zandt was a lot of fun. He was cool. And who else did I have? Oh, if you're a sports fan, I had Joe Buck on. I had Billy Gibbons from ZZ Top. A bunch of people are on there. I had the quantum physicist on, and I'm trying to think who I got coming up. It's a blank. Oh, I had Katie Coleman, the astronaut, on. She lived in the space station for 6 months, and she plays the flute. She's playing the flute in the space station with Ian Anderson from Jethro Tull. He's on Earth, she's in space, and they're playing the flute together.
That's wild.
I've done nothing with my life, Greg. Nothing.
Oh, yeah, I know that you're saying that in jest, but that's awesome, dude. Thanks for coming on and doing my podcast, man.
Good to see you, brother. I'm going to be at the cellar tonight, and hopefully I'll see you and we'll laugh soon when you get back to town, all right?
All right, man. See you soon. Thanks.
Be good, brother.
All right, bye.
Pick up your head, pick up your body, get on the bus, it's time to party. It's Gregory. It is a Saturday.